Welcome. I would like to begin with some pertinent information that I have found from the Encyclopedia on Early Childhood Development. According to their website, research on early social, emotional, and cognitive development suggests that the short and long-term consequences of caregiving contexts are less dependent on the form of care, such as maternal care versus other care, than on the quality of care. Some of you may be sitting here today trying to make that hard decision about whether or not to put your child in a child care center. I would like to help encourage you on what to do in coming to an end on your decision. One must really think about the quality of the child care. It really ought to be carefully and extensively researched. Going forth, we are going to take a look at how to determine the quality of a child care center. When deciding on childcare, you should always feel comfortable, and it doesn't really need to be a scary thing for you as a parent or a guardian. Before your child attends a child care center, there are a few steps you should take that can help you become better informed on what to expect. If you're interested in a center that is local, you may have friends or family that already takes a child to that center. Ask them for their honest opinion of the center. Find out if they have any pros or cons in regard to keeping their child at that center. Keep in mind what people tell you may be more opinion-based and is not necessarily factual. Research the center and see if they have a website or a Facebook page. Contact the director or owner of the program and set up an appointment to meet with them and tour the center. In doing my research on quality childcare, I came across a website which provided quite a bit of useful information. childrenscabinet.org is very easy to navigate and has different pages that go over what quality childcare actually is, why it is so important, and even some steps to take in finding childcare. After you have done some research and made an appointment to tour the center, there are a few things you should give thought to while you are there. Please remember that you made this appointment. You reached out because you needed childcare. Do not feel as though you need to rush anything while you are there. Take your time and get a really good feel for what that center is all about. While you're looking over the center and visiting the different classrooms, peek around. Look for signs of cleanliness. Is there food everywhere? Are the children's basic needs being met? Are children being allowed to dump out toys and move on to the next? Do the teachers in the classrooms present themselves in a way that seems welcoming? You should feel completely comfortable walking into that classroom, and it shouldn't seem as though the teacher is caught off guard by your appearance. Albert Einstein once said, "I never teach my pupils, I only attempt to provide the conditions in which they can learn." This is so true even for the youngest of minds. A teacher must foster an atmosphere for growth. Look at what's on the walls in the room, the toys on the shelf, the learning materials available for the children, and the way the teacher is interacting with them. The last part is particularly important. Is the teacher even interacting with the children? Are the children being spoken down to or talked with? There is a great difference between the two, and both can have tremendous effects on a child's growth. All of these points are small details that you really must pay attention to. These details begin to pile up, and they can either comfort you or steer you in a different direction right then and there. While you are visiting the center, pay careful attention to the center schedule, how they follow it, and how it will help your child grow. Don't be afraid to ask any questions or challenge any of their methods. It's all about finding the best possible care for your child, not theirs. You have every right to know as much information as possible about the program your child will be attending. All of the classrooms from the infant through the pre-K classroom ought to be structured with room for flexibility. Kids running around, yelling, climbing on things are usually not good signs. The schedule should meet a child's needs in regards to their growth. Children do some of their best learning and growing through play. Dr. Peter Gray, in his video on play-based learning, does a great job of explaining exactly what play-based learning is. In his video, he mentions that play is how children explore and learn about what they like to do. It's how they develop their passions and interests. This again can have a lot to do with the structuring of the classroom and the things you may have noticed earlier on. You will definitely want your child's day well-rounded. Make certain the program will provide ample opportunity to foster the growth of your child's fine motor, gross motor, creative, cognitive thinking, and social emotional skills. These are basic needs that should be met throughout the time your child spends in their care. After going over all of these different areas of concerns, and hopefully the program operator can answer any questions that you may have or can come to an answer for you, you should be comfortable enough to drop your child off all the way to when you pick them back up. These are some very, very basic ways to research childcare and decide if it meets your quality standards. By going through these different steps, you should be able to formulate a decision, and I strongly urge you to be thorough. Please take your time. This isn't a decision to make hastily. As you can see, there's a lot to take in and decide on. Plenty of people have rushed. They have not thoroughly looked into the child care center that they've chosen and sadly regretted it later on. These are your precious babies that you are leaving in someone else's care. If you are not comfortable, you don't have to do it. The most key thing you can possibly do is observe. Watch the children that are there as well as the teachers and their interactions. Marilyn Vos-Savant once said, "To acquire knowledge, one must study, but to acquire wisdom, one must observe." Thank you.